So you've been very, very vocal in the beauty space for over 10 years now. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, you're always checking people and calling out brands when they're wrong. My question for you is, how are you challenging brands that you've partnered with to be inclusive and diverse, especially in times like this? And also, I can imagine that that's difficult to do. So how do how do you champion that?
Well, like I was saying earlier, like there's always like a vetting process. So I always, we talk to the team and it's like, why would we want to partner with this brand? Is it on brand for me? Is there already an organic relationship? Are they already doing the work to be inclusive? Are they just pandering? So we ask all those questions. And then when we do go forward with the collab, it's like, okay, well, if we create a beauty product, I want to see people who look like me who are wearing it. So we want to make sure that like after you've cut the check is cute, but that's not enough. Like you don't just get the Jackie Aina endorsement. Like I come with the whole community who's been supporting me. So to me that matters. So it's like, if you're not going to then, fairly represent and post people who look like me too, then what's the point? You know what I mean? Like it's not enough for me to just get the one-off opportunity and then go. Like I could of course easily do that, but I like seeing like it's got to be worthwhile, and the people who support me are a lot of people who look like me, and it's just important that they're fairly represented as well. So I truly do try like behind the scenes to have as many conversations as possible to make sure that like there's a full strategy and rollout even after we've collaborated with the company and the brand. And honestly, sometimes whatever they do the year, 2 years after the partnership is on them. I can't I can only do so much hand holding. I can only do so much, like auditing in a way. I don't know if there's a word for that, but when you're working with me, as long as that product is sitting on shelves, you better come correct and make sure that it's being fairly represented on your social platforms, in our campaign photos, because I'm just not gonna like be out here looking crazy. Like don't have me out here looking stupid. You know how you said that to a boo? That's what I be saying to brands. Don't have me out here looking stupid.
Check them, Jackie.
Go fix it. Okay.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
I love that someone commented makeup activist. Yes, she is. I think you are so innovative, Jackie. You seriously are. I think for so long, so many dark-skinned women were so afraid to wear bright colors, right? They couldn't wear a bold lip. They couldn't wear a bold eyeshadow. But you've been a leader, not just advocating for us in the beauty product space, but advocating for us to have that confidence, right?
Right.
So many people are attracted to you because you have that confidence. You exude so much. Speaking of confidence, you were one of the first public figures to announce pull up or shut up, right? You came on the platform, you talked about it, and I think so many brands were shocked and so many people were taken aback, right? What was you got a real honest audience, right? And people oftentimes want to troll you and they want to call you out. What was the response to that when you first announced that? What were brands' reactions? What was your community reaction to that?
So to be honest with you, for those of you guys that don't know, Pull Up or Shut Up was basically like an initiative to put your money where your mouth is. We started asking brands, how many Black employees do you have? Yes, Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. Alonzo, you are so silly. That's literally what I keep calling myself now with this bob.
I love it.
Okay, so Pull Up or Shut Up, if you don't know, basically we started asking brands like, okay, your little Instagram black square is cute, but like, okay, how do you actually care about Black lives like in the corporate world? Like we need to see the receipts. We need to see the numbers. So Sharon Shooter from Oma Beauty started that, and it is extremely important for me to stress that, because I feel like anytime I amplify something or align myself with something, people start forgetting about who started it. I didn't start it. Yeah. I was just supporting Sharon. So
yes, wrote an article about so check it out on the cut if you guys want to.
Yes. So when I had posted that, Sharon I had already been kind of late in the game when I posted that video, basically amplifying Sharon's initiative, the one that she started. It had already picked up traction. She had already gotten a WWD feature. Like it was crazy. Like people were blowing her up. So then when I put up my video, I think that kind of like already like it started like a snowball effect. And it was wow. Like I was just so shocked to see. And you know what I think also people have not realized is it became outside of the beauty category. For I think initially Sharon's idea was, I mean, maybe I'm just assuming. I don't think we realized like how many brands would actually start doing it until I started seeing like clothing companies. Like, I think it was like Nike or Adidas, somebody. I was just like, everybody pulling up now. Like, what? But honestly, like,
we're pulling up fashion companies, media companies.
Yes. Yeah. Like, it was like major people. I was just like, oh wow. Like, but honestly, Sharon was truly a genius. And I feel like she just put into action what all of us were thinking, because we all have a story of a company, and some of these companies are not even in the industry that we're in. But I have friends that, you know, are like working in corporate world, and they're like, I can't even get, you know, time off to like heal right now. So it's like, do you really care about Black lives? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, I think a harsh reality and a long awaited conversation that we needed to have about like how Black people are viewed in, you know, in the corporate world, in regular jobs, and just in everyday life. And like, it's just not enough to just say like, Black Lives Matter, like, I support you guys, like, but how do you support us though?
It's not enough to throw up your black box and your Instagram change from white, black.
Exactly. Now imagine when it's like the person saying all of these things, but you don't have a single Black person on your team. And to be honest with you, I'm not here to speak for Sharon, but when I posted that in support of her, to me, I wasn't thinking, okay, like of the companies with like 5-10 employees. I get it. You're a small company. You can barely, you know, like you're barely managing what you have. I'm not talking about that. But do you know how strategic you gotta be to have like
come on
40-50 employees,
come on
and be based out of like New York City, Los Angeles, and not have no Black people? Nah. You're this is next level. This is next level. So that was the people that I was speaking to, because there's a lot of people who live in very popularized metropolitan diverse cities,
period,
but they strategically keep it very undiverse,
period,
in these little boardrooms. So it was like, I mean, how much do you care about Black lives? How much so?
Jackie, you've been an activist in the beauty space for, like I said, 10 years on YouTube. For those who don't know, who are tuning in from the cut, can you talk to why you started addressing racism in the beauty space in the beginning? You've made videos on this before. You've been attacked constantly, but you kept going. And I want to know, and I want people to know, why you kept speaking on this and why you even started speaking on racism in the beauty industry.
To be honest with you, I don't even see it as like a form of activism, because the conversations that I have, I feel, are like, this is stuff that like every dark-skinned Black woman has at some point felt or said or verbalized. I just happen to do it on camera. I feel like there's nothing special or different or particular about what I do. It's just, it's second nature. It's like the equivalent of like putting on concealer. I can talk about putting on concealer for days. I can talk about how frustrating it is to walk up to a counter and be othered for days. That's just something that I naturally do. So it never felt like I was doing anything different. What I will say is, as with any industry that you're in, you know, there's kind of levels to it. Like when I first started my channel, I definitely was not as vocal as I am now, because one, I didn't know how to be. Two, you don't really know, like, well, like where am I even going with this whole YouTube thing? Is this an actual career? Is this like, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is something that I can like go someplace. You know what I mean? Like, I was just literally getting on camera and just talking about things that I experienced right then and there at that moment. And so I guess because I was the most consistent with it, maybe that's why people kind of view me in the way that they do. But I just don't, I don't even feel like I'm owed anything for that. Like, I feel like I'm just doing what I do. Like, I'm doing what every dark-skinned Black woman has had to face. It's just recorded and filmed. You know what I mean? So, but I will say, like, as years go on, like, I get more confident, I get more comfortable. There's levels to this stuff, guys. Like, when for any of you guys that are aspiring influencers, aspiring beauty gurus, when you're first starting out, you can't always say exactly what you're thinking all the time. As tempting
Jackie,
No, I
that's
know. I know. I know. I know. But with beauty, I don't know, maybe because YouTube, I think people feel like there's like a barrier of protection there. There absolutely isn't. It's just like your everyday jobs. You have to kind of like get to a certain point, a certain level. Like I said, there's levels to it. So,
yeah.
over the years, I got more comfortable. I
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit more untouchable, dare I say? Like, I don't know. Like, can I say that? Like, in
Yeah,
a way,
you
like,
are
I
untouchable.
kind of needed to like prove myself. And then it's like, all right, now to really say how I really feel. And
It's like
even now,
you gain the credentials and then you speak
exactly,
off it. Like,
exactly. Because then they'll just be like, oh, she's an angry black woman. She's always bitter. Because I'm not even kidding. There's stuff that I'll say that like not even a white person, a non-black person will say it. And they'll be like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. And I'll be like, I was just, I had been saying that for,
how much ago?
I'm confused. Like,
Where were y'all? Okay.
exactly. So you just kind of have to like, I mean, sometimes it takes years, honestly. It sucks, but that's just how it is.
Right. Do you feel as if for the first time you're actually seeing progress made in the beauty space, right? Are you seeing people trying
Yeah.
to, okay, you are seeing people
I
channeling.
do. Yeah, I do. I think the one thing that needs to be uh, done better is more mainstream representation for darker skinned people on social media, because we started off by like the shade ring expansions and the like, oh, the campaigns including black people, and those are great things, but like Jackie Aina, like I'm not the only black influencer, and like it wasn't enough for me to just get to where I am to be the Jackie Aina. Like I wanted to like bring
Right.
other people with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring other people with me. I don't want to be the one girl who gets all the opportunities. Absolutely not. I mean,
Right.
they're great opportunities, but there's only so many hours a day. I can't do everything. And
Right.
and everything is not meant for me anyway. So for me, like where I am now, to me, I always just wanted to see more influencers like me become more mainstream. And that I think still needs a lot of work. A lot of work. Like we just, the algorithm is not always on our side. And this is on multiple platforms, not just the gram,
Right.
but TikTok, YouTube.
Right.
It's like, I mean, a lot of people's explore pages don't lie. Like it just shows you what YouTube or what TikTok thinks you want to see. And a lot of times it's not people who looks like me. So I
Right.
think that needs to be improved, but there are a lot of changes. And I think the biggest, most obvious change is we can finally say all the stuff that we were shunned for years and years ago. I remember the first time.
It feels so good, Jackie.
No,
It's
I know,
good.
because you can say it now and not be dragged. You still might get dragged. You still might get dragged, but it's a different kind of drag. It's like,
You
oh,
got support now. You got a support system. They'll all be like, go for it.
exactly, exactly. It's almost a balance. You got the
Right.
people over here backing you up, and then everybody else. We don't care. There's a balance. So yeah, like 5 years ago, if I had did a makeup tutorial using a full face of black owned brands, like I would get comments from people like, that's racist. But they would be dead serious. They would be dead serious. They would be like, wait, so like if I'm white, can I use it? And they'd be dead serious. And I'd be like, just smile and nod, child. Like, what? Girl, huh?
Wow.
Like the conversations weren't even like being had. So like that's how far we are. But now it's like everybody's talking about black owned brands. Granted, they also don't want to get dragged, but they're talking about it.
Right.
Whether it's authentic or not, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but at least, the conversations are a little bit more open now, which is good.
As an advocate, how do you navigate the mental gymnastics of going into predominantly white spaces and making a case for people of color, especially when the most common rebuttal is the numbers show that our largest demographic is of medium skin tone? What is your response to people trying to fight back with stats?
I don't. I don't see them. To be honest with you, now I try to actively avoid minority white spaces. I do. I don't want to work with you. I don't
Yes.
want to engage because what is the point? Like what if we're already not speaking the same language if you're throwing stats at me. So I'm not gonna waste my energy anymore. I'm not gonna waste my breath. And just like I say in my videos, people are not gonna buy stuff if you don't make it available. So miss me with that whole, oh well, so and so are buying more. I mean, yeah, because you make the products available to them. I said that like 50 million, 1,100 times. I'm not gonna say it again. I just avoid those spaces in general. I really do.
Do you see yourself on YouTube forever, or would you transition into another career path?
I see myself kind of having overlap. So it'll never be just like, bye YouTube. I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
I will have already done it. And then, if and when I decide that I no longer want to make content anymore, then that's when I decide to do it. I mean, I'm sure that day is going to come eventually. I don't know. I don't foresee it happening anytime soon, but like there's always going to be a lot of overlap in what I do because I still genuinely enjoy creating content. So I don't know. I mean, I would hope it'll still be a couple years from now, but
I want you to go off YouTube, sis. You give us life.
all great things come to an end, and I'm a big believer in ending things on a high. I don't want to be like fading into obscurity. Like I would rather end it on a high. So I don't know when that high is.
Right. Versus like, girl, how long you gonna be on here?
Right, exactly. I'm trying to avoid the how like you still making videos? Damn. I'm trying to avoid that. You know what I mean? So we'll see.